tripletail right on this thing. Boom. That is cool. I've never done that. They say they're that easy to catch. That is cool. I'm at Yankeetown this morning. It's really calm. Perfect day for kayak fishing. I don't know if you can see, but the no-see-ums are unreal this morning. So even with bug spray on, I'm pretty anxious to get offshore. Be targeting sea trout today, but I also brought some frozen shrimp. Caught redfish and black drum here in the past too. But yeah, it should be a pretty calm day on the water. The wind's supposed to pick up around 4, but I should be off the water by then. Here's a sea trout. He's probably right around 14 inches. Well, that one's 15, so we'll throw him on the ice. Here's fish. Oh, that's a good one. Oh, that was a good trout. That was a big trout. That sucks. Alright, I'm on them. I'm on them. They're here. I'm not getting real reliable bites. I might switch lures. Try the root beer chartreuse easy shrimp on the Texas-eye jig head. There's fish. Trout. Here's on the easy shrimp. Another 15-inch cookie cutter. Throw him in the ice. That easy shrimp might be the way to go. I'm just getting it all the way to the bottom and working it much slower. I got a fish on the drop. Oh, he came off. I got another one. Damn. Trout. Gonna be the biggest one of the day. Man, that's a nice one. real nice sea trout. It's my third one of the day. "17.5 inches, so we'll throw him on the ice too. I literally just cast it out, let it sink. I didn't twitch it once. Had a bite, missed it, let it fall again, had that next bite. There's fish. Oh, ladyfish. That ladyfish might have gone under a bobber if I had landed it. Gosh, they're just sitting on the bottom and pecking at it. When you watch the end of the rod here, I can just drag it across the bottom and get bit. Bigger one. That's a bigger one. That's gonna be another keeper trout. Well, that's 4 fish in the box. I really just need one more for my limit. Once I get my 5th trout, I mean, if I'm lucky enough to get it, I'll probably go try to target something else like redfish or black drum, knowing I got a lot of work to do when I get home to clean these. There's fish. Ladyfish. Ah. Give me one of those. Throw it on a bobber. I will say this. Most of my bites come near the far extent of my cast, which tells me that they can sense the kayak and they stay off of it a little ways. I say that. Oh, ladyfish. I don't think ladyfish care so much. There's fish. Or a little trout. He's croaking. Really trying to catch a ladyfish to use for bait. Seems like I'm off the bigger trout onto these smaller ones. But I think they kind of move through in waves. I'm gonna stay here for a while. Yeah, this doesn't make sense. There's fish. What do I got? This feels a little different. I snagged it. It's a trout in the dorsal fin. I am over a giant school of black drum. I gotta put a shrimp on. Dude, there are black drum everywhere. There are black drum everywhere. I wish I had live shrimp or some kind of crab. So I don't know if I'll ever see this again, and I'm not sure if this camera picks it up, but there are black drum everywhere. I'll go paddle over them. They are not touching anything I'm throwing. You can see them dimpling the surface over there. These big black drum. Just right. Right over. Well, that's a good trout to finish my limit, but coincidentally, I am just in a school of giant black drum. And I can't get them to bite. I'm gonna wait for the tide to go down a little bit, see if I can scrounge up a crab and catch one of these black drum. This trout's just over 18 and a half. trout. Already at my limit, so. I was really hoping to just goof around for a bit, wait for the tide to go down a little bit, and see if I could get those black drum. I don't really want to mess with more trout. I already got my limit. There's a triple tail right on this thing. Boom. That is cool. I've never done that. They say they're that easy to catch. That is cool. I'll have to look up the regs on these. Man, I just watched him eat it. That was cool as hell. Wow, that's cool. That is cool. Damn it! Fuck, that was a nice triple tail. He just popped the hook. Well, that'll teach me not to have a net. Man. Well, I'll also have to memorize the regs for those, but I'm pretty sure that was a keeper triple tail. That was pretty cool. I thought I saw him sitting on that, like a little clump of brush. I threw it in front of him. I mean, the kayak was only 12 feet from him. He just swam right up and ate. I got real excited. I was already thinking about the meals I was gonna make with that. They say that's how it goes. If you can find them and get a lure in front of them, they'll eat, and that's exactly what happened. Well, after that missed triple tail, I decided to call it a day. I'm just paddling back in now. I've got my work cut out for me when I get back home and fillet those fish. That triple tail was pretty cool. That's the first one I've ever actually, well, it's not the first one I've seen, but it's the first one I've got a cast at, and I landed it right in front of its face, made one twitch, and hooked him immediately. I had a good hook set, so I'm surprised it popped off, but Anyway, it's a pretty good morning. I only fished for about 4.5 hours. Got a lot of those trout right away, and then was just kind of paddling around. I came across a school of, it must be spawning black drum. You know, they were all 8 to 20 pounds, maybe bigger. They wouldn't touch anything I was throwing, so it'd be interesting to come back out here in the next couple days, maybe with some blue crab, see if they'll bite. Maybe they're just too preoccupied with spawning. But I'll make my way back to the beach and then get back home, flay these fish, and do a little catch and cook. Maybe blacken some of the trout. Definitely gonna save some to smoke. So see you then. All right, so I'm back at home. Got my 5 trout. I'm gonna fillet one for the video just to show you how easy it is. I think trout are one of the easiest fish to fillet. So I've got a sharp knife. Start right behind the gill here, kind of cut all the way through. And then I run the knife along the dorsal side, kind of right up against the fins. Kind of, you don't have to go in too far. Try to stay right along the kind of the bones that make up the middle of the fish here, toward the spine. Once you get down to the end here, you can kind of feel your way through and fillet it on out through the tail. And then you're just working slowly, kind of pulling the fillet up as you go. I basically do this with almost all fish. You're gonna have to cut through the pin bones, which aren't too big on a sea trout. And I'm by no means the best at filleting fish. But just take your time. It's better to go slow and make the best use of the fish as you can. I try to allot time to filleting fish rather than staying out and trying to catch more. Kind of so once you get here, you can cut across. And that's a fillet. Now you can leave the skin on depending on how you want to prepare it, especially if you're going to cook it on the grill. I'm going to blacken this first fish, so I'm going to fillet it off the skin. I save cardboard boxes specifically for filleting fish in my house. I place it near the edge of the table so that I can get my knife handle level with the fillet. And then you don't really, you can angle slightly down, but you don't want to cut through the skin. Kind of just trying to run that blade over the skin. Trout don't have much of a mud line. I cut into the skin a little bit, so I'll go back through and trim that out because the skin doesn't taste particularly good. So except for that little hiccup with the skin, that's how long it takes to fillet half a trout. And you do the same thing on the other side. If you can look closely, trout sometimes carry these parasites. This one has at least one. They're not harmful if you cook the fish, but they do have these parasites that people call worms. Now I just rinse the fillet. Try to get the blood off, because that also has the off taste. And then I'll just put it in a colander, let it drain. Once I get all my fillets, I'll put a plate under this, set it in the fridge, let the fillets kind of dry a little bit in the fridge, and then package them or freeze them, however you want to handle them after that. Alright, so to go along with the blackened trout, I'm going to make some tartar sauce from scratch. Start with a little bit of mayo, or a little bit more than that. Some sweet pickle relish. I like that much. A little bit of mustard. And just a little bit of white vinegar. And then juice from one lemon wedge. So mix that up really well. Now I've got a tartar sauce to go with the trout. Alright, and so now we also want to make our blackened seasoning. I like to make mine from scratch. I use about equal parts of black pepper and garlic powder. Here's the garlic powder. Black pepper. Maybe a little bit less of the smoked paprika. And just a little bit of cayenne pepper. And then thyme, which I'll put it in my hand, break it up so it releases some more of the oils and the flavor. And then a little bit of oregano. Get this mixed really well. Now that's ready to go on the fish. Just kind of put it on generously. Flip the fillets over. I didn't quite cut through. And I'll let that set for a little bit just to adhere the spices onto the fillets a little better. Alright, so I had the cast iron skillet heating up. You can tell that it's hot enough because the oil is burning here. So I might actually turn that back a little bit. We'll go ahead and add our fillets. I just have a little bit of canola oil in the pan. I haven't used it in a while. Just needed to re-season it a little bit. But really with blackening you don't need any kind of fat in the pan. Just enough so that it doesn't stick. That'll probably cook about 4 minutes aside or less. Really, I think I've got too much oil down, but I just wanted to have something because I haven't used this skillet in a while. But you'll know it's hot enough because it's releasing the oils into the air from the peppers and the thyme and the oregano. So if it's a little bit smoky, you're doing it the right way. You want it to get pretty black, like a dark black from the blackened seasoning on the side that's cooking. So we're getting pretty close. We'll flip it in 30 seconds or so. See how this looks. That looks pretty good. It's already flaking apart a little bit. I'll get the smaller pieces to the edge of the pan. It'll only need to go a couple more minutes on the second side. It's cooked all the way through. I don't want to cook it too much. So go ahead and pull these. So there's the blackened trout. Went real southern with it and some cheddar grits. And we'll throw some of that tartar sauce on the plate. I won't get too formal with it, I'll just do a taste test here in the kitchen. But we'll try a piece with just nothing on it. Nice and flaky. It's got a good taste with the blackened seasoning. Do a little bit with the tartar sauce. You almost need the tartar to balance out the spiciness. And it's helping cool it down because it's still pretty hot. That's really good. I love the lemon and vinegar and the tartar sauce, but that's one of my favorite ways to cook the sea trout. Blackened goes good with redfish too, but for my money, the best way to cook sea trout is to blacken it.